Well, good afternoon. A very warm welcome here to Hoogerheide as we bring you the final round of the UCI World Cup Cyclo-Cross. We're getting ready to bring the women to the start line for this final race of this series. And as you can see, as we look across the pits area, now you may well remember this track. It's the same course as we had in the World Championships last year, 2.8 kilometers in length. The pits area that we're looking across now, where we crisscross. And as you can see, 73% of the course is on meadow, 14% goes through that red section into the forest, and we have one little bit on the road. So the riders we'll be lining up now for the start of this Women's Cyclo-Cross World Cup. It is 5 degrees centigrade, but there's no doubt it feels an awful lot colder than that out here. And as you can see, it's pretty muddy as well. This is the World Cup standings. Sanne Cant is the leader with 206 points, but this series is not over yet. Katie Compton there in second place with 177. Ellen Van Looy in third, Sophie de Boer in fourth, Lucy Chanel Lefebvre in fifth, and Helen Wyman in sixth place. 29 points separating Katie Compton and Sanne Cant. A further 1 point separating the second and third place riders. That means that any mistake by Sanne Cant today could lose her the World Cup title. 60 points for the overall winner today, 50 points for second place, 45 for third place, and so on, which means that this is going to go right down to the wire as far as deciding who is going to be the overall winner today. Here's the start list of the riders. We are seeing 55 riders take to the start. The same number as we saw in Zolder in the last round. 17 nations represented today. Interestingly, the first time we'll have seen an Argentinian rider taking to the start. Wearing number 58, Carolina Gomez will be on the start line. And here's the previous winners. As you can see, Marianne Vos has dominated this Hoogerheide course, no surprise. She is, of course, here with her most local race of the series, and she would be very, very disappointed not to win today. She's won the last three. Katie Compton's won one, and she won the previous two before that. Well, there's Marianne getting ready. As you can see, you've got a speed suit on, ready for today's race. I saw her in the hotel last night. She's been training in Calpe with her professional team. She said she's had a good week of training. There's Eva Lechner, the Italian champion. Always goes out and tries to power off the start line and take the race to everyone else. Ellen Van Looy, there's Nikki Harris, took a win yesterday. And we're now 1 minute from the start. Nikki Harris took a win in a cross which wasn't too far from here. There's Katie Compton. She's got to get herself focused now. And there is Katarina Nash, the rider who has appeared here in Europe, having based herself in the United States of America. Took first place in Namur, second place in Zolder, and now looking to again capitalize on that and take today's victory, heading into the World Championships in her home country of the Czech Republic. Sanne Cant right there on the right-hand side in the white. Total focus from these riders. Look at that. And we're underway now. And it's a power charge off the start line. Katarina Nash on the left in blue and white. Eva Lechner right in the middle, going with Marianne Vos, and it's Vos who is setting the tempo. We'll see, look at Marianne Vos, if you notice what she's wearing today. Long socks, more aerodynamic, wearing the speed suit, getting ready for the World Championships, and she is first down the drop-off. Marianne Vos then leading, and look, riding where everyone else is having to run. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, the new French champion, working her way through the field, but Vos has got the power to go with the able to ride all the way through that muddy section, which is very, very tough, but it didn't help her too much. Sana Kant there in the white in second place as the World Cup leader, just tracking her nicely. And up towards the front also Helen Wyman. Now I'm told Helen's got a bit of a cold, woke up with a sore throat after she came back from Spain just a couple of days ago, and now wondering how she will go today. I was talking to Steph, her husband, about an hour or so ago, and he said they're right on the peak of form now. And she woke up just a couple of days ago with that sore throat, and now they're not sure whether it's going to turn into a full-blown cold or whether she will be all right. But today, she was just going to test it out and see how she felt, as we see the World Road Race champion, Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, now accelerating down through what is a drier section and tracking nicely through there. A little bit windy through the forest. Helen Wyman having to just correct herself a little bit there. And Ferrand-Prévot, look at this, absolute style as she makes her way out of the forest section. Sana Kant in second. In third place, it looks like Lucy Chanel Lefebvre making her way through. Marianne Vos now with that first move is in fourth place. Lucy Chanel Lefebvre in the colours of France, making her way into second place now, fifth in the World Cup so far. So two French riders now at the front of this race as Chanel Lefebvre makes a little bit of a mistake. Marianne Vos tracking very nicely there. Her road teammate Ferrand-Prévot setting the tempo at the front of this race. Well, we're 1 week away now from the World Championships in Tabor next weekend. Everyone will be heading there over the next couple of days. Wyman making a little bit of a mistake. I'm looking to see where Katarina Nash is. There she is. She goes round that corner. But this young French rider looks to be on very, very good form now. And it looks like Marianne Vos is finding the initial tempo just a little bit much as Ferrand-Prévot puts in the acceleration. Well, can the unthinkable happen in the next week? Can Ferrand-Prévot win the World Road Race Championships and the World Cyclo-Cross Championships in one season? She certainly right now has got the measure of the initial stages of this course, and Sana Kant, who won 14 UCI races before she then started to fade away, may well be recovering here and getting herself back on good form, ready for the championships. Wyman using her technical ability very, very well. Van Looy goes through. Vos, Eva Lechner hasn't started as quick as she normally would. Also going through the picture there is Katarina Nash. So a study then of Pauline Ferrand-Prévot. Thank you for joining me here for today's live coverage of the UCI World Cup Cyclo-Cross, wherever you are. Join me on Twitter if you would like to. @McCrossan is where you can join me with any questions, any thoughts. Lucy Chanel Lefebvre just avoiding Sana Kant. Helen Wyman riding well despite this sore throat that she's got. And I was saying about Marianne Vos, she's got the long aerodynamic socks on, she's got the speed suit on. But so far, it is Ferrand-Prévot who is putting the pressure on and leaving the rest of this race in her wake. Sophie de Boer in the green, making her way through. Katarina Nash is starting to now move. I haven't seen Katie Compton yet. Let's just see if we can pick her out. She's always a slow starter. As we look back through the field, where is the American champion? The answer is here. She's about to make her way through this corner. She's got an awful lot of work to do. Katie Compton, the World Cup winner of last season. And meanwhile, it is Ferran Prevot who is looking stronger than the rest of this field, just really looking stylish today. The tempo she has got as she moves away, she just looks so composed, doesn't she? Around this corner that you have to get off and run, has a little bit of a slip. Lucy Chanel Lefebvre goes with her, staying on the wheel, so they go side to side, and Chanel Lefebvre now leads. Ferran Prevot quite happy to go with this one. A little bit of French teamwork coming into play now. Eva Lechner into 4th, Ellen Van Looy wearing number 10 is into 5th. Marianne Vos is into 6th place so far in this race. So the last time out in Zolder on Boxing Day, we saw Marianne Vos take the victory. Katarina Nash was in 2nd place, Ferran Prevot was in 3rd, Sabrina Stultens in 4th place, Eva Lechner in 5th, and Ellen Van Looy was in 6th place. Making their way now past the VIP hospitality as we see Amira Mella of Great Britain now alongside the American champion Katie Compton. Saw Amira this morning as she was having breakfast with Hannah Payton, also with Stuart Blunt. Any British viewers will remember Stuart. He's now the manager of the British cyclocross scene now, as Katarina Nash overtakes Marianne Vos and is starting to make her way through the field. Oops, as Sana Kant there slides through that corner as they made their way off the mud onto the road section. And there, a little bit of a slide. Chanel Lefebvre also making a little bit of a mistake. Thanks as usual to all of you for your messages. The race hotel was very, very nice. I was told actually that we all stay here in a hotel which the World Championships was centred on last year, and I'm told that Felita de Jong is from the village where the hotel is. So the guys from Cross Vegas, hello to you, thanks for your message. As we see Marianne Vos making her way up the climb, maybe that block of road training has just made the legs a bit tired, but Ferran Prevot was also at the Calpe training camp, and it's not doing her any harm right now, as Eva Lechner moves ahead now of Lucy Chanel Lefebvre. There is Katarina Nash. There's Helen Wyman, Sophie de Boer. Behind Sophie de Boer is Sabrina Stultens. Behind them is Marianne Vos. Nikki Harris on the wheel of Marianne Vos now, as we make our way towards the end of lap number 1. And Ferran Prevot looks around to see where the rest of the field are. She goes through in 8 minutes and 51 seconds. 19.36 kilometers an hour. I'm not sure that's right, is it? It's 9:13, I think, was the lap time. 19.36 kilometers an hour. And then when you make your way down this drop-off, this really muddy section, when you get into this meadow area, is very, very difficult to ride. But Marianne Vos this time decides that she is going to run it. There is Katie Compton. Amira Mella just 2 wheels back from her. The young British rider who's fought her way through the junior ranks. One of the youngest riders in this race, sitting there behind Compton. So let's run through the current situation as we make our way through the pits. The leader is the World Road Race champion, the French cyclocross champion. She's at the head of the race. 7 seconds now ahead of Eva Lechner, who went flying into that corner. Behind her is Sanna Kant. Now making a big move is Katarina Nash, the rider from the Czech Republic who lives in Berkeley in San Francisco in the United States of America. Well, those disc brakes screeching as Eva Lechner made her way through that corner. Katarina Nash cornering like she's on rails as she went through there. Eva Lechner trying to stretch this race out a little bit. And there is Chanel Lefebvre, behind her Van Looy in the yellow and blue. Sabrina Stultens in the Rabo Lived colours. But Ferran Prevot just looks to have the total measure of this course. Her technical ability is fantastic when she is on top form like this. But we haven't really seen Pauline Ferran Prevot on absolutely crisp cyclocross form, but today she certainly is. Around that corner and making that look very simple. Lechner having to hold on and just pull the bike round. Katarina Nash now into 4th place. Well, I had the chance to talk to Katarina Nash before the start today, had a long chat to her after she had warmed up, and she was giving me a little bit of insight as to the build-up to the cyclocross in Tabor. Her bike set up today, disc brakes on. She's very happy with the Orbea bike that she's riding now. Noticeably, if you look very closely at Katarina Nash's bike, when we get a camera shot of her, single chainring on the front, which is why she says some people say you always look like you're in a bigger gear than everyone else. She says, well, I don't have any more gears, I just have a single chainring on the front and then a selection of sprockets on the back of the bike, which is a very different setup to the majority of the rest of the riders. She has a setup that she's happy with now, very similar to a mountain bike setup as she makes her way over the top of the climb. Sabrina Stultens, who rode very well in Zolder last time. Van Looy having to shoulder the bike up there with Helen Wyman and Lucy Chanel Lefebvre. Helen Wyman winning her 9th national cyclocross title. Sophie de Boer working hard. There is Nikki Harris. She had that knee injury, but she now looks like she's recovered from that. And today, Mariana's not having the best of days in this cyclocross. Mariana looking a little bit heavy-legged today. Hasn't got that flat-out style that we normally see, the really urgent style of the world champion. And next week she's got the world championship to try and defend. Sanna just trying to stay on the bike. Katarina Nash takes 1 foot out. She gets out of the saddle. She said to me earlier, I've just got to get out of the saddle and just got to pile the pressure on and keep the gear turning over. She decided when she saw that the World Championships were in the Czech Republic, she decided to focus totally on that. She decided to ride her mountain bike season. Then she rode Cross Vegas, then turned her attention towards the World Cups. And she said it was very important because she had, of course, to accumulate enough points to ride the World Championships and to race. So she had to really think about when she came over to Europe. She's been based here since, as we now see Ferran Prevot overtaken by Sanna Kant, the World Cup leader, who is at the moment defending her lead in that contest very well indeed. But there is no doubt that the fastest rider on this course right now is Pauline Ferran Prevot. She looks like she can just shut the gaps when she has to. So Katarina Nash saying she came over and rode Namur, won that. She Was second in Zolder. Now she wants to see what she can do here. She's going to leave this evening and get to Prague. She'll go and stay with her parents in Prague for just outside Prague for a few days, and then she'll get to Tabor probably on Wednesday or Thursday, look at the course and get things ready for the World Championship in 1 week's time. So the split point is looking like this as far as information is concerned. Sanne Cant is the leader through the split point. From Prevost right on her wheel with Eva Lechner also there. Katarina Nash and now Sabrina Stultens making a little bit of a move. 9 seconds down is Ellen van Looy. Lucy Chanel Lefebvre at 16, Helen Wyman at 17. Sophie de Boer and Nikki Harris tied at 29 seconds. And then I'm looking to see where Marianne Vos is, and the answer is about 57 seconds down. There she is. Today is not Marianne's day. She said she'd been training down in Calpe. Said the weather wasn't too bad, not as warm as it had been in a previous training camp. As we're now heading towards the conclusion of the next section onto the road. Eva Lechner is the rider who is setting the tempo now at the front. Ferran Prevost in second, Sanne Cant in third. Behind them, Katarina Nash in fifth place in orange and white. Sabrina Stultens. Any one of these riders could win this World Cup race. Ellen van Looy now starts to close the gap as well. In terms of the standings overall then, just to remind you, Sanne Cant is the leader, Katie Compton in second place. She's 29 points down, Ellen van Looy another 1 point behind. Then Sophie de Boer, following them is Lucy Chanel Lefebvre, then Helen Wyman. Sabrina Stultens is in 7th place in the World Cup. Nikki Harris is in 8th, Marianne Vos in 9th, Katarina Nash in 10th place overall in the World Cup. So Eva Lechner, the mountain biker from Italy, making her way up that little climb. Katarina Nash looks ominously placed to me right now. And the rider who just goes round the corner then, wearing number 3, Sabrina Stultens. On to the road then to complete lap number 2. The opening lap was 9:13 from the standing start. We have this group all combining now at the front. Lechner with that familiar style. 3 laps of racing to go. Ferran Prevost really wants to keep the pressure on if she can. And we'll look to see who is going to dominate through there. Eva Lechner's time was an 8:58.9 for that second lap. Getting all sorts of different time splits here, but the whole group went through in Pauline Ferran Prevost's split time of 9:06 was the split time. Eva Lechner's was 8:58 for a lap and 8:59 for Sanne Cant. This is the next group on the road, led by Nikki Harris, Sophie de Boer, and wearing number 12 there is Julien Verschuren. You can see the spray from the jet washes, but these 5 riders locked in combat at the front of the race. Nikki Harris now riding 38 seconds down. Sophie de Boer also around about that sort of time, but here is the group which contains at the front there number 30. That's Rachel Lloyd going through in the red and white from the United States of America. Katie Compton is in here. Marianne Vos is at the back of that group. Also in there is Sanna Passon from the Boels Dolmans team. There she is wearing number 4. A few mistakes being made there. And Eva Lechner screeches those brakes yet again. Look at the way Katarina Nash corners that bike. She just leans the bike over, kicks the back wheel out. Her technical ability on this cyclocross scene is a joy to behold. Just the way she just is happy to let the bike just drift. Well, thanks for all your messages today so far. Eva Lechner leading. She very much likes this course, so does Helen Wyman, the other medalists in the World Championships. And Lechner has normally the rider who goes out, she leads, she gets overtaken, then she drops back. But today, she's certainly now starting to feel her morale coming through. You can see the effort she's putting in at the front. There is Sabrina Stultens. This is going to be an incredible race if all four riders are locked like this together until the finish line. Another 3 laps of racing to go. Just looking through to see who is setting some fast lap times, and so far Sabrina Stultens is the rider who is setting some pretty rapid times out on the course. Her last lap was 8:51.8, which compared to 9:06 of Pauline Ferrand-Prévot and 8:58 of Eva Lechner. So it's Stultens whose split times on that last lap were pretty impressive. So just to update you on other places so far, Caitlin Antonow is running 12th. Rachel Lloyd of the United States is running 14th at this moment in time. Further on down the field, Katie Compton is running 17th. Marianne Vos is 19th. Crystal Anthony 21st. Caroline Marnie of France in 22nd. The first Canadian rider, Michael Dick, is in 23rd. Amira Mella is in 24th place for Great Britain. Elle Anderson is in 25th place for the United States of America. Hannah Payton running 34th for Great Britain. And just looking through to see any other countries that we should just mention for those of you who are fans of different nations or wanting to know exactly how other riders are doing in the field. First Spanish rider is in 29th place. That's Aida Nuno. For those of you who are fans of Australia, Lindsay Gorrell, who I actually met before the start today of Australia, is towards the back of the field right now, but very, very happy to see the Australian riders represented. Well, a big attack now by Eva Lechner as she goes well clear of the rest of the field. Sabrina Stultens enters the pits. Ferrand-Prévot now having to work really hard. Katarina Nash in third. Sana Kant. Sabrina Stultens is just tantalizingly close to catching that group. But Eva Lechner now, the mountain biker from Italy, really starting to make a big, big attack. Crash of Sophie de Boer around that little turn. Lots of ruts and roots in that area. Well, Ferrand-Prévot and Katarina Nash and Sana Kant are really going to have to now put the pressure on, because Eva Lechner is disappearing from them. This is the rider who is taking the race to everybody else. Look at the way she's riding, stamping on those pedals. Real power now going in. Eva Lechner grabbing hold of that, made a little bit of a mistake as she went round to try and get herself round that corner safely. There's the group. She's starting to, but she's making a few mistakes as she's under pressure. Sana Kant trying to lead to close the gap. Ferrand-Prévot's earlier style is now starting to be more of a big effort. The shoulders are all over the place now. Maybe went out and raced the earlier stages just a little bit too hard. Ellen van Looy just having to concentrate on keeping the pedals turning over. Really having to work hard there. Lucy Chanel Lefebvre trying to close the gap. And the split point then. 12 seconds is the advantage for the Italian champion. On to the climb. And now Katerina Nash says she's got to try and shut this gap. Eva Lechner down that drop-off and just kicking the back wheel out a little bit. Katerina Nash is first of the chasing group over the climb. And hopefully I've answered some of your questions on Twitter at @McCrossan. Where's Amira Mella? We've mentioned her. She is running right now at 24th place as she went through the line. Thank you for the pronunciation of Jolien Verschuren. We'll get that right next time. Here we go. This is the end of the next lap. 2 laps of racing to go. And it is Eva Lechner, the Italian champion, racing down this finishing straight here in Hoogerheide. And her lap time was 8:44, the fastest lap that we've seen so far, an average speed of 19.61. It's Katerina Nash now who leads the chase, 11 seconds down. Katerina Nash making her way through, pulling for unprovoked, tumbles over there into the mud. Rights herself though, and here is Ellen van Looy crossing the line. She's 32 seconds down on the leader Eva Lechner. So Eva Lechner, who was second in the World Championships here in Hoogerheide. There's the rider who was the bronze medalist just crossing the line, Helen Wyman, 58 seconds down. Just being overtaken by Jolien Verschuren in 9th place. Just to remind you though, Helen Wyman with a sore throat. Maybe now the illness is starting to pay a little bit. Lying 8th overall, Nikki Harris in 10th place. Here is Marianne Vos, who is yet to cross the line. Just in front of her, it looked like it was the Luxembourg rider, Christine Meyerus. But Eva Lechner, she just knows right now this is her biggest chance. There is Katie Compton on the left-hand side. Looks to me like she is suffering with her breathing again, really gasping for air. She's just had a season of troubles, and Marianne Vos alongside her is also having a day of problems. But I think Mariana has been doing a massive training block in Calpe in Spain. She'll now taper for the rest of the week, and she'll get her legs feeling strong again. So today could be all about putting in a final block. Oh, a big crash. Sanne Cant hitting, I think she hit the base of the barriers. She made a big mistake there. This is the World Cup leader. And her biggest danger is Katie Compton, but she's a long way down. So Sanne Cant just has to keep the pedals turning in the place she is. Here she goes. She hit the barriers. It was very lucky there that Ferran Prevot didn't get hit in the face by the bike that tipped over. And Sanne Cant's just got to keep going. She's got 29 points of an advantage between her and Katie Compton. 30 points between her and Ellen van Looy. No one in front of her really can take away this title at this moment in time. Well, it truly has been a fantastic series of races that we have seen in this World Cup. Katarina Nash gave us, and here she is going up the climb, gave us a lot to talk about when she arrived in Namur and beat Marianne Vos into second place, Katie Compton into third, Ellen van Looy, Ferran Prevot and Sanne Cant, the top six that day. We've also previously seen in the other rounds of the World Cup, we saw Sanne Cant win in Milton Keynes in round 3. Unfortunately, we're hearing that Milton Keynes will not be a round of the World Cup next season, but they're hoping it will be back for 2016. Next week in Tabor in the World Championships, I'm going to be joined in the commentary box by Simon Burney, who's the promoter of Milton Keynes. It'll be great to talk to him about running a World Cup and everything else that this level of racing entails. So he's going to join me for all the races in Tabor in the Czech Republic. As we look back here, Katarina Nash, I think, is starting to close this gap on Eva Lechner, and going with her now is the World Road Race champion, Pauline Ferran Prevot. So I'm sure some of you just wondering about Marianne Vos and whether it's just a big training block. And now this is the final workout, but certainly the legs look a little bit more dead than they normally do. Those of you just reflecting on Twitter about this rider in the lead, Eva Lechner, she's always done well in Hoogerheide. She likes it here. It's her style, of course. And to be fair, Tabor is not that much different to this course as well, so it could be very interesting indeed next weekend. Lechner is absolutely flying, isn't she? She's totally motoring, just letting the bike glide. There's Sabrina Stultens, behind her is Sanne Cant. Sabrina Stultens lying 7th overall, 132 points in the World Cup so far. Her campaign opened up with a 2nd place in round 2 in Koksijde. She also had a 4th place in Namur. In Zolder, 10th place in Namur. Well, Eva Lechner being urged on by the crowd here at the side of the course. 1,070 VIPs in hospitality today here in Hoogerheide. It's so popular, this cyclocross. Run, of course, by the team with Adru van der Poel. And Van der Poel last night, I was very lucky to be invited to a very nice official dinner with some of the organisation. Found out all about what they hopes and aspirations of running a cyclocross are. The 10th time that Hoogerheide has actually hosted the final round of the World Cup. A very hard-working team, but they did have a good time last night, making sure that everyone and their sponsors and everyone there had a nice night. Lots of great food. Normally at the World Championships they have a double-level VIP hospitality, which is over 2,000 people in it. Today, 1,070, which of course enables them to help put on the race. The more hospitality, the paying of the guests in there means that more money can be spent on the actual race. Eva Lechner shouldering the bike, making her way to the top of that little climb. Well, it's wonderful to see a rider like this, who we always see as a fighter who goes out. She tries to take the race to everyone else. So often She is the rider who ignites the race at the beginning and then she just falls back a little bit. But this race today, we are seeing the true power of Eva Lechner. There's Christine Majerus. Behind her is Marianne Vos. Sitting behind Marianne Vos is number 42 there, Martina Mikolaskova of the Czech Republic. And Ferenc Prévot and Katerina Nash trying to work together a little bit to catch the fast-moving Italian, who is just in front of them on the road. And Ferenc Prévot, of course, with her ability as a road rider, should be able to close up a little bit, but Katerina Nash looks like she is not going to go through. The split time that time again for Eva Lechner, another fast lap. .8:52, 19.32 kilometers an hour. And finally, Ferenc Prévot manages to get Katerina Nash to go to the front. 19 seconds is the split. One lap of racing to go. Well, Sanne has one more lap, then she will be the World Cup winner of this 2014-2015 season. Eva Lechner into the pit, jumps onto a Colnago bike and makes her way back out again. There's Ellen van Looy in the blue and yellow of the Talinet Fedea team. Behind her, Lucy Chanel Lefebvre. Behind them is Nikki Harris. And Katerina Nash and Ferenc Prévot onto clean bikes as they make their way out of the pits. Gritted teeth from the Italian rider. She's got to make sure she gets this corner right. Lets the bike just grip and makes her way out of the little forest area. See the effort on her face. 29 years of age, Eva Lechner, from Bolzano in Italy. And she really puts the power on now. Katerina Nash on the drops, round that corner. Ferenc Prévot having to take the right foot out as they went there. Nash now trying to make a little bit of a move to see whether she can close the gap on Eva Lechner before the finish. Well, the morale of these riders is going to be absolutely sky high now, knowing that Marianne Vos has dropped way out of the standings. There is Marianne Vos. She just doesn't have the spark and the punch that she normally has, as she's 2 minutes and 39 seconds down. But Marianne doing her usual thing. You won't see her give up here. She'll ride to the finish. It's all about getting in. A little bit more training for next weekend. Katie Compton, a lot further back. She is certainly really, really suffering today. Katie's had all sorts of problems this season. You can see there, she's desperately trying to catch her breath. And to me, Katie Compton's in all sorts of difficulty. And it's awful to see an athlete like that, who is such a prolific winner of over 100 cyclocross races. To see her gasping for breath like that is quite distressing, to be fair. Let's hope that Katie Compton can recover, because we love to see her riding flat out at the front of bike races. This is the fight for second and third place. Eva Lechner now Just steadying herself through this little section, doesn't want to make any mistakes. She's just on that limit of an error and just holding it together, knowing she could win the final round of the World Cup. So Katarina Nash with the dotted gloves on there, you can see, trying to open up a little bit of an advantage on the third place rider there from Prevost. Katarina Nash said to me before the start that she finds cyclocross very similar to cross-country skiing. It's about the same amount of time, and therefore the intensity is the same. All you have to make sure you do is practice your running a lot. Technically, because of mountain biking, she's very, very good on the bike, so that's all she has to work at. They make their way up the climb again. These two riders are going to fight it out at this moment in time for second and third place, because 29-year-old Italian Eva Lechner has taken this race to everyone else. 5 times a national cyclocross champion and one-time national road race champion of Italy back in 2007. Silver medalist in the World Championships here in Hoogerheide last year. Well, this crowd really giving Eva Lechner a great cheer on. Those who follow cyclocross know how hard this rider works. Katarina Nash now attacking Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, looking to move through to take second place. And what a campaign this rider has had. She turned up in Namur, everyone was talking about her, and she took the victory. She then rode in Zolder on Boxing Day as Ferrand-Prévot takes a little bit of a slip. She finished second. Today she's looking to finish second again. The crowd really getting behind these riders. Katarina Nash is such an incredible athlete, 4 times an Olympian, twice for mountain biking, twice for Nordic skiing. As Eva Lechner now starts to overtake some of the back markers. That was Denisa Lukasova she just caught, making her way around that corner, just sliding sideways, bit of broadside. Katarina Nash, 13 cyclocross wins at elite level in 2013. A fantastic mountain biker, third in the 2013 Mountain Bike World Cup as Lechner now accelerates. I think we're going to see a little bit of Italian passion, a little bit of this rider showing a lot of emotion when she comes across the line here, because Eva Lechner has been wanting to win a World Cup cyclocross for a while. She's been wanting to win. Oh, a little bit of a slip as she shoulders the bike again. Everyone willing her way to the top of this climb. Onto the bike, steadies herself, finds the right route that she's going to take. Onto the next drop-off. And on camera, they don't look that steep, do they? But they are pretty scary. Up onto this little power climb. Eva Lechner now getting herself ready to ride onto the road to win this World Cup cyclocross here in Hoogerheide. She is going to be the winner, the Italian champion. 29-year-old Eva Lechner making her way towards the finish line after 44 minutes of racing, nearly 45. There's no one behind you, Eva. The victory's yours. The smile breaks out. Eva Lechner wins in Hoogerheide. A fantastic performance from the Italian today. And in second place, as she looks around, an average speed on that last lap of 19.14 kilometers an hour. Katarina Nash is going to conclude her World Cup campaign with another second place. 3 races, 2 seconds, 1 first. That's some campaign. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot finishes in 3rd place. She took the race to everyone else very early. She finishes on the podium again. Well, the winner of the World Cup is going to be Sanne Cant. She's going to sit up. She cleans off the jersey. She is the winner of the World Cup of this season. Sanne Cant finishes in 4th place to take the 6-round series for Belgium. Sabrina Stulzens finishes in 5th place. Now we're going to see the rest of the places. In 6th place will be the French rider Lucie Chanel-Lefebvre. Behind her is going to be, I think, Ellen van Looy. She looks around there to see, I think Ellen van Looy will have moved into 2nd place in the World Cup. Jolien Verschuren crosses the line in 8th place. And behind her, Helen Wyman, the British champion. She knows she's not quite on form with that little bit of illness. She finishes 9th, which is maybe better than she hoped for at the start of today's race. Meanwhile, we cast our attention back to the rider who dominated the second half of this race. The early stages were taken by Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, but when Eva Lechner went on the attack, that was the end of the race. Nikki Harris won yesterday. She finishes 2:16 down in 10th place. But the Italian rider Eva Lechner, you can see the joy, you can see the passion, and you can see the emotion of a fantastic win today. Marianne Vos making her way into the finish line. She's actually moved up a little bit. She finishes 12th, 2:53 down. Behind her, Martina Mikulaskova. And other riders who are crossing the line now include Caitlin Antonou. Caitlin, who rides for the 2016 powered by Show Air team in the States. There's Christine Majerus, teammate of Lizzie Armistead on the road. And the next riders making their way into the finish line. There is Sophie de Boer. Katie Compton will complete the course. Amazing, isn't it? Marianne Vos, despite having a bad day on the bike, still stops and still signs autographs for all the kids at the side of the track. Just shows what an incredible ambassador that rider is. Katie Compton finishing now, fighting for breath. Behind her is Elle Anderson. And behind Elle Anderson, Pavla Havlikova of the Czech Republic. Meanwhile, out on the course, a few riders will make their way into the finish. someone's fan club who are cheering her on as she made her way down towards the little turn there. But here is the unofficial result. Eva Lechner wins in 44 minutes 53 seconds. Katarina Nash in second, 18 seconds down. The World Road Race champion, Pauline Ferrand-Prévot of France, in third place with 27 seconds deficit. Sanne Cant wins the World Cup in fourth place at 54 seconds. And Stultens and Chanel Lefebvre make up the top six. Down in 9th and 10th for Great Britain, Helen Wyman and Nikki Harris. Here's the rundown then of the top 20. Rachel Lloyd in 14th place for the United States of America. Katie Compton and Elle Anderson finishing together, 21st and 22nd place. And the first Canadian finisher in 29th today. So here's the highlights then of today's race. It was Marianne Vos who went powering off the start line the way she always does. And at that point, Eva Lechner was behind, having to get off the bike. As they made their way into the little forest area, it was Pauline Ferrand-Prévot who took on the race. And suddenly, Marianne Vos was in a little bit of trouble. Starting to drop back a little bit. Sanne Cant, the World Cup leader, took on the initiative for a little while. Further back, Katie Compton and Marianne Vos were together. But as they made their way into the forest area again, it was Eva Lechner who started to extend her advantage. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot making a few mistakes. And suddenly, the 29-year-old Italian had daylight between her and the rest of the field. Eva Lechner with the total measure of this course. Sanne Cant had a face plant as she went over the handlebars. Lucky she was okay. And Lechner screeching the brakes, going flat out through some of the turns. Came through to take a very well-deserved victory here in Hoogerheide. Katarina Nash in second place. Ferrand-Prévot completing the race in third. Sanne Cant taking the World Cup victory this year.
En hier weet dat zij in de mooie cyclo-cross reeksen de UCI
Well, the World Cup standings at the end of the sixth round. Sanne Cant wins with 246 points. Ellen van Looy moves into second place, a great consistent campaign. Katie Compton, the defending champion, in third. Chanel Lefebvre in fourth. De Boer in fifth. Sabrina Stultens in sixth place. Katarina Nash with 3 races in eighth place there. And Helen Wyman, Nikki Harris and Marianne Vos are the other riders who make up the top 10. Eva Lechner's morale is going to be sky high now, ready for the World Championships. Steph Wyman cleaning Helen's Kona bike there, making sure it's all ready for the trip to Tabor.
Van den Driessen binnen, Gomez binnen. En ik ben benieuwd waar mijn collega Laurens van der Klunt op dit moment is. Is hij al in de buurt van het podium? Heeft hij al topvrouwen van onze...
Well, pretty muddy out here today. These bikes will be cleaned off, get ready. And then many of the team's mechanics and everyone travelling over to Tabor in the next few days to get ready. Some of the riders will just be spending a little bit of time at home. Some travelling mainly on Wednesday over to Tabor to get ready for a big, big weekend of racing. Well, we're going to get set for the podium presentation as normal, and we'll bring you the men's race as well, which I think is going to be an absolute thriller today. With so much intrigue and news going on in the men's sport over the last week, I think we're going to see a fantastic race today. Well, let's hear now from the winner of today's race from Italy, Eva Lechner.
Eva Lechner, many congratulations to win the final World Cup of the season. How does it feel?
Yeah, thank you. It's really great. I didn't expect it because I just came back yesterday evening straight from Gran Canaria from training camp, and I was a bit sick also in the last day, and I just wanted to do my race today, and I didn't expect a win, and so I'm more happy.
The way you won it was really convincing. You consider yourself now as a main favorite for next week's Worlds in Tabor?
Yeah, it's a difficult question. I don't know. For sure, my goal is to make another medal like last year. But for sure, it's another day next week. It's another course. Other conditions are great, I think, because there will be snow and ice, I guess. But yeah, I will do for sure a good race, and this victory from today, it's for sure a good motivation for next week, and I'm looking forward.
Best of luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, Eva Lechner, great English as she talks us through the win today, coming back from training camp in Gran Canaria. So many riders have been training in the warm weather, getting ready for the next part of the season. Well, she didn't suffer with a cold today. She was going far too fast to worry about that, leaving everybody in her wake. Don't forget, you can get all the details of the World Championships on uci.ch. That is the website to go and visit if you are looking for information on the Tabor World Championships. As here behind the scenes, we get ready to welcome the riders onto the podium.
Ceremonie protocolaire elite women, de ceremonie protocolaire voor de elite vrouwen hier in Hoogerheide. Op de derde plaats, Pauline Ferrand-Prévot.
Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, the third place rider today.
En een geweldige winnares
in second place, Catharina Nash.
Eva Lechner.
And Eva Lechner, the winner of today's race, with an advantage of 17 seconds on Catharina Nash.
Felicitaties voor de dames op het podium. We gaan beginnen met de dame op de derde plaats. De zoenen zijn van de WIS en ook van de gedeputeerde van de provincie Noord-Brabant. Hier de felicitaties inderdaad voor Pauline Ferrand-Prévot. Van 3 naar 2. De felicitaties voor Catharina Nash uit Tsjechië. En uiteraard zijn er ook hele mooie bloemen. En de welgemeende felicitaties van de provincie
Pauline Ferrand-Prévot looking a little bit reflective on the podium here. Eva Lechner, all smiles as the winner of today's race.
Mevrouw van Haafden, de gedeputeerde van de provincie Noord-Brabant, heeft de prijs overhandigd. En de dames mogen op het podium gaan staan. Ze blijven ervoor staan. Maar voor Eva is er uiteindelijk die extra prijs. De primus haart dat over.
Yeah, don't drink that before next weekend, Eva. Leave it till Sunday night.
Dan gaan we eerst luisteren naar het nationale volkslied van Italië.
Now the national anthem of Italy. Eva Lechner takes the victory today in Hoogerheide.
Congratulations, ladies, with this victory here in
So these riders are going to make their way now to Tabor to get ready for the World Championships. There is Katarina Nash on the left-hand side, Pauline Van on the right. When was the last time you had two riders on the podium with little diamonds on their teeth? Both Eva Lechner and Pauline from Prevot have the same.
That was very well today, a hard race, I think.
It was the final.
Well, I saw these fans first thing this morning, and they're still enjoying themselves out around the sights and sounds of today's race. Well, we're going to say goodbye to you from the UCI World Cup for Women.
Champion on the road and on the field.
But there's a possibility, of course, that we want to see the World Cup
Next week in
winner, and that is Sanne Cant. We'll just see whether we get to see her.
Op het podium voor de ceremonie protocolair. De derde plaats in het eindklassement is er natuurlijk voor.
The frites and mayonnaise are abounding today around the course, as you can see.
Van de derde plaats naar de tweede plaats, Ellen van
So the
Looy.
presentation then of the final standings of the UCI World Cup Cyclo-Cross for Women. Third place goes to Katie Compton, second place to Ellen van Looy, and Sanne Cant is the winner of this year's series.
Kijk, daar staan drie geweldige sportvrouwen op het podium. We hebben Mario Strentina namens de UCI. En die heeft de prestaties van dame op de derde plaats. Wij mogen de trofee natuurlijk voor...
Sanne Cant opened her campaign with 7th in the first round, then took 2 wins back-to-back, of course, in Koksijde and Milton Keynes. She then finished 6th in the next round in Namur, 7th place in Zolder, and 4th place today. That secures her the overall win.
Er zijn er ook zoenen en bloemen van Jalke, de rondemeester namens GF Mode uit Kutten. Ook de illustrator namens de provincie Noord-Brabant heeft uiteraard de prestaties voor Katrina Compton met haar derde plaats. Dan uiteraard ook de bloemen voor de dame op de tweede plaats voor Ellen van Looy. En ondertussen heeft Mario Strentina van de UCI de mooie nieuwe wintertrui. Een schone wintertrui voor Sanne Cant, de winnares van de UCI World Cup Elite Women 2014-2015. Ook voor Sanne zijn er de bloemen en zijn er de zoenen. Er staat hier het geweldige podium, de top 3 van de World Cup 2014-2015.
There's our final podium after 6 rounds. Sanne Cant in the white as the World Cup winner.
En dan vraag ik nu uw welgemeende aandacht voor het nationale volkslied, de National Anthem of Belgium.
Now we have the national anthem of Belgium. Sanne Cant then the winner of the World Cup after 6 rounds of racing.
Voor het uitreiken van de prijzen, fotomomenten voor de top 3 van de UCI World Cup 2014.
Katie Compton started off her campaign with a big win at the first round over the last couple of rounds, has really suffered with the breathing problems that she's had, but great to see her still on the podium. And Ellen van Looy moving up today into second place.
Kort even nog naar de dames, de top 3 hier op het podium. First, Katrina Compton.
Well, we've seen 6 magnificent races. Eva Lechner wins today. This rider will now walk away as the World Cup winner after those 6 rounds. Thanks very much for joining me for the women's race today. We'll leave you with the sights and sounds here in Hoogerheide. Bye for now.
Katrina Compton, dan naar Ellen van Looy. Gisteren op het podium in